Alex Jones was never the strategist he claimed to be, but he did land a few notable early shots, some facts worth acknowledging before everything went dark. He infiltrated Bohemian Grove in July 2000, filming the ominous cremation of care ceremony attended by Hollywood, banking, and political elites. That footage became the centerpiece of his documentary Dark Secrets, Inside Bohemian Grove, exposing secret rituals in a secluded redwood enclave. The ceremony, Jones claimed, echoed occult traditions, a potent image that made his name. Yet critics later dismissed it as a bizarre theatrical spectacle, not occult world orders. He also gained fame via a July 2001 broadcast. Jones predicted that airliners would be used in a false flag attack on the World Trade Center and that Osama bin Laden would be blamed. He framed this using data from Rand Corporation reports, Pentagon planning, and the infamous PNAC planning documents calling for a Pearl Harbor-style event. He claimed the U.S. intelligence apparatus had even prepped for such a scenario. Tucker Carlson broadcast that claim emphatically. Planes will fly into the World Trade Centers, and they will blame a man called Osama bin Laden, pointing out that Jones was never called by investigators after the attacks to explain how he knew. These flashes gave Jones a veneer of truth-teller status. He wasn't wrong all the time. For every claim that hit, there were hundreds of wild conspiracies. Sandy Hook as a hoax, vaccines turning you gay, government weather weapons, Hollywood occult rituals, mass shootings as staged events, none of which stood scrutiny. His content was fear porn monetized, built on selling paranoia and survival kits. Yes, he uncovered Bohemian Grove's ceremony, but many infiltrators did, and his version leaned into medieval occultism, borrowing anti-Masonic and esoteric tropes more than real investigative rigor. The ritual featured Elvis impersonators and drunken elites, not global cabals. Jones credited his partial prediction of 9/11 to taking existing signals and connecting dots, previous attacks, public planning documents, and media priming. He wasn't a lone genius. Bill Cooper had made similar predictions weeks earlier. Any paranoid conspiracy viewer could have pieced it together. Reddit communities flatly note Jones' claim is often built on recycled Cooper content. Even Tucker Carlson acknowledged it was more premonition than revelation, and questioned why no official asked him for his sources. The illusion of strategy shattered fast. Jones turned these rare grains of accuracy into a megaphone for madness, churning out conspiracies for clicks, fueling fear, and building an empire of supplements and doomsday gear. When the pressure came, Sandy Hook defamation suits, deplatform bans, bankruptcy filings, his structure imploded. He amassed nearly $1.5 billion in legal judgments in 2022, mostly to the families of Sandy Hook victims, after courts found he flagrantly defamed grieving parents. Judges described his behavior as callous and bad faith. He claimed censorship, victimhood, martyrdom, but the collapse wasn't due to institutional squeeze. It was self-inflicted, lawsuits over lies he kept doubling down on, even after the truth became undeniable. His business declared bankruptcy. His personal fortune plunged. Assets were seized. His SUV, property, watches. A symbolic reversal of his guns and armor persona. Strategic warriors build alliances, manage vulnerabilities, and admit when lines should not be crossed. Jones had none. His entire brand was uprooted from reality by impulse and outrage. He never partnered with institutions, even fringe ones, besides conspiracy media. He antagonized the press, the courts, political figures, and eventually his own audience when refunding failed product purchases. When InfoWars filed for bankruptcy in 2022, it held virtually no assets but owed millions. There was no exit strategy, no mentor, no strategy, only predictable collapse. Jones appeared as a warrior, tactical, prepared, exposing hidden elites. But that was surface illusion. Few remember the early Bohemian Grove scoops or vague warnings of false flag attacks. They remember Sandy Hook denial, court rulings, and bankruptcy headlines. A paper Spartan fights loud, not wise. Jones once shouted anti-elite slogans, but his hardest truth revealed how thin his armor really was. Millions believed he was truth incarnate. The collapse didn't just crush Jones. It exposed what happens when spectacle replaces discipline, moral clarity yields to chaos, and hype is mistaken for strategy. His legacy doesn't caution the media, it cautions you. Followers looked for resistance. They were handed spectacle. And when they needed consistency, it wasn't there. Yes, some of his early exposés had kernels of genuine concern, But those were exceptions. The rule was fear, fabrication, and fallout. In the end, Alex Jones wasn't a strategist. He was a carnival act, a Muppet in tactical gear, someone who touched on reality but tore it apart in service of drama. That's your real lesson. Discern muscle from myth. Real warriors don't collapse at first blow. They don't trade integrity for clicks. They don't crumble without an exit strategy. You want true resilience, strategy, and leadership? You want backbone, not breakdown. You need the Spartan Mindset. Order the Spartan Mindset today and embark on your journey toward becoming the leader your world needs. Let your struggles forge you into a warrior of character and resolve. The Spartan Mindset provides a comprehensive and actionable guide to personal development and resilience. Available now for just $19.99. Purchase your copy from the links in the description box below and on this channel's homepage. Because your future begins with the right mindset. The Spartan Mindset.